time on EGX. There's so many really cool games I want to share with you today. Especially this one, right? Soundfall is really epic, and I hope that you get to try it when it comes out. I've met some really interesting people, played some cool games, been standing in a queue for an hour and a half, and yeah, I'm pretty tired, to be honest.
And at this point, I realized how noisy it is out there, which is why I'm going to film the rest of this vlog in my bedroom. My name is Michał Tomasz Czerniak, but you can call me Mike. And in this video, I'm going to show you the top 3 games that I found that take sound design to brand new level. I also want to share with you some tips on how to network on conferences like that, as I know it can be quite overwhelming at times. And finally, I want to share with you the content of the amazing mystery box that I have purchased while being on the event.
So hey, my name is Mike.
Hey Mike, I'm Nick. So Soundfall is a rhythm-based dungeon crawler where the levels are procedurally generated based on attributes of the music track, and doing your actions to the beat of the music makes them more powerful. Shooting your gun, swinging your sword, or evading are all enhanced by keeping tempo with the music. So we're about 2 years into development, and we're planning on shipping probably late next year.
The game's called Wave Your Rocket. It's a side-scrolling action puzzle game in which you control a character which flies with a sine wave, and you grow the amplitude and the frequency of the wave to avoid him through obstacles and defeat the evil too. So it all started actually as the part of the Global Game Jam, 2017, so it's 18 months ago now, and the theme for that Game Jam was waves. So we started that Game Jam looking at, we wanted to do something to do with a sound wave, a sine wave, and then it just kind of grew. We started changing the shape of it. We put a rocket on the wave, and that's what happened basically. 18 months later, here we are.
No, it's really awesome.
Well, it's essentially a throwback to like the late 70s, early 80s. So you're essentially playing as like a kind of Bigfoot conspiracy hunter. You're going into the woods with a camera and trying to capture evidence of a creature that's been there. So you're going around finding points of interest, any activity that shows something's been there, catch a photo and ideally one of the creature as well before you can like try and escape or get caught. This is our first vertical slice, so essentially it's a proof of concept. We're looking to find funding so we can actually go and release it online as a kind of asymmetrical multiplayer, like Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th kind of style. Well, we'd love to have essentially an early access up in maybe like a year's time. We kind of met on a previous project and then we really enjoyed working together and thought we want to take it to the next level. We kind of starting a company together.
That's why game jams are so important.
Absolutely, we've done as many game jams really as we could, and it really just does solidify the importance of honing your ideas and being able to work quickly and cohesively.
Awesome, thank you.
So here are the most useful tips that I have found that hopefully you can apply to any networking event that you attend. The first one is be willing to speak to strangers. It's interesting because nobody remembers the first thing that you say. They just remember the impression and the feeling they had from you after your conversation ends. I think it's crucial that you stand out from the crowd. So every day I wore something a bit more different, something funky related to games, but the most important thing of my brand at the event was of course the Harry Potter glasses and this top hat. Right, it's not a top hat, it's a baseball cap. I know, I'm foreign, leave me alone. The first impression that a person makes from you is based on your appearance, your posture, your body language and your tone of voice. The pitch of your voice and the speed of your words can really make a massive difference. For example, if somebody speaks very fast with a higher pitched voice, by partially mimicking the tone of their speech, you'll be able to build a much better rapport from a person. And I know it sounds a bit sociopathic to an extent, but making those first impressions really do count, especially if you're looking to find long-term collaborative relationships, which is what I was aiming to do at the event. It's crucial that you say your name in confidence. You have to leave enough space between your name so that people can process what it is you're saying, especially with me, because I do have an accent, let's not deny it, and most people have no idea how to pronounce my name. My aim for their event wasn't to just play games. To be honest, the main thing was understanding how sound designers get hired for the job, as well as to speak to some game devs about their games that I found fascinating. So how do sound designers get hired for the paid jobs? The answer was always the same. I've worked with them before. All the people I've spoken with have said that they've met them on a game jam, or they did a course together, or they worked in a previous game, or somebody recommended them in a team. That's why it's so important that when you first meet somebody, you leave a positive impression. Have a firm handshake. I really can't stress this enough, because the amount of people I've met that just have it Olympian stuff, or they just grab your hand the wrong way, it doesn't leave a nice first impression. There is a saying, fake it till you make it, and that's true. You have to fake the confidence and the extrovert persona, even though it's something that I personally find quite uncomfortable. I'm a lot more introverted than I appear to be, and to be honest, talking to people drains my energy. However, there was one tip that enabled me to genuinely smile at somebody, and it was this, right? Imagine that this is the first interaction you've had that led to years of collaborative, inspiring work. And you never know who's around the corner, so that might as well be true. Next, make a connection. You have to understand people's positions, right? For example, something I would say is, I'm surprised your voice hasn't gone yet, considering how many people you've spoken to already. They probably have spent the past 2-3 days continuously talking about their game to somebody, and they might appreciate somebody asking where they traveled from. Oh, that's an interesting accent. Where are you from? Ask them about their role on their project. If you play the game, give constructive criticism, they will definitely appreciate that. And there is another tip you can use, is connect with their appearance. Many of them, especially people at the stands, have wore different merchandise t-shirts. You can just talk about them. You know what? Some people just don't want to carry on the conversation, and that's okay. They will look away from you, they will give subtle clues that they don't feel comfortable talking to strangers, and that's okay, just move on. Ask open-minded questions. What was the most challenging part of the project? What inspired you to create the project? Or how long have you been working at it? One thing that worked for me was, after I've got this box, I would speak to other people that also got the same box and ask them, hey, what did they get? And from that starting point, we will talk about other aspects of games they've played or working on, or even potential collaborations. Say their name in a conversation. There is nothing sweeter than hearing your own name said by a complete stranger. It shows respect, it shows that you care about what the person is saying, and finally it helps you remember that person's name, as well as help them remember yours. Business cards. Don't just give them out like an idiot, right? Nobody's going to look at it. You're not making a connection. People will not care. They'll just add it to their pile of cards that they may or may not contact. When somebody gives you a card, hold it while you speak to them. Make sure to look at it occasionally. It will help you remember what the conversation was about, as well as show that you respect their work. If you can, write on them. Write, I've made a mistake, I have a black space on my business card. If I turned it white, somebody could have wrote a note on it, but I didn't, and that's something you have to live with until my next order comes in. When you are parting ways and you don't remember the person's name, ask for it. It's so crucial that at the end of the conversation, that person leaves with a positive feeling or impression of you. Next, follow it up. Writing personalized emails is one of the best ways to connect with somebody. It's the same when you connect on LinkedIn or Facebook or any other medium. When you write something personal to the person, for example, I have really enjoyed our conversation about X, Y, and Z, and I really enjoyed the art style of the game. I'm looking forward to see what's gonna come out of it. Compliments like that can really inspire the next person to do their job harder. Being polite doesn't cost. It's crucial that you release regular content on your social medias after you connect with the person. I know I am not the best example of this, but at the end of the day, when somebody sees that you post regular content and that you are passionate about your work or craft, they are way more likely to contact you when they are in need of your services. Don't be scared of your competitors. I think that's the number one mistake that I've made when I was in college. I would often try to compete with the person or not show them my work because I'm afraid they might steal ideas from me, and that's just absurd, right? We are all in this industry together, and you can learn and grow together. There is nothing better than than having a rival that you want to surpass in your work in terms of quantity or quality of work. Ask for constructive criticism. Put your ego aside and learn from others, because that's the only way we can actually grow. So when I finally release my video about the boogeyman, I hope that you can all give me some constructive criticism that I can develop on. The main reason why this video took so long to edit, even though it's been over a week now since EGX, was not because I didn't have enough time, because I had plenty of hours in a week to get it done. I chose to do other tasks than getting this video done, and it's up to me to remind myself about the importance of prioritizing my tasks effectively. I was overwhelmed, as this is the most creative video I've worked on so far, and I didn't know how to handle it. So I've created a to-do list to tackle each aspect of the project one by one, editing interviews, looking at footage, naming footage, just so that I can create this cool video. And you know, I am just so used to feeling guilty about not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that because I feel guilty, I would rather just go watch Netflix, and then I would feel more guilty and I would be stuck in this really vicious loop. But I got out of it, and the way that I can snap out of it in an instance is by changing the state of my body. An episode would end, I would close down my laptop, go for a walk, just do something different, you know, go brush my teeth, even though I already brushed them twice or 3 times already. You just have to do something different to break your routine, so that when you come back into the room, you don't open your laptop up again and open up the same entertainment that you've been doing. And I'm sure that you felt that way too, where you had an important task to do, but you've just procrastinated on it. I've got this video done because I've told myself that as long as I can do something little towards it every day, I will feel content. You know, I will feel happy by making progress. And yes, it took longer than I expected, but at least I made progress. And if there is something that you're putting off, or something that's was sitting on your desk or on your to-do list for the past couple of days or weeks, close this video and do it, because nobody else is going to do it for you. I want to show you what I've got in this box. So here goes nothing. Ta-da! Empty box. Nah, just kidding. What I have is a Call of Duty Infinite Warfare hat. Right, I don't really like Call of Duty, so Sonic Boom, the little figure. Okay, sure. A Pokeball from one of the new Pokemons. To be honest with you, I was a Pokemon fan once, but since they've added more and more Pokemons, it kind of lost its interest, hasn't it? Second, but not least, the WoW Alliance Shield t-shirt. WoW Alliance Shield t-shirt looks pretty cool, to be honest, and I wouldn't mind wearing this day to day. And finally, the last thing I've got is a Super Mario World light up wall art. And yeah, to be honest with you, after speaking to everybody about the kind of things that they've got, I feel like I've had the better end of the straw. The contents are worth about 70 quid based on the price that they were sold at the stand. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The thing about body language is that the pitch of your voice and the amazing mystery box that I've purchased while on the Let's say you're a game programmer and you want to start a team, but you don't know anybody yet. So you're looking out for modelers and animators and sound guys to be able to please have a firm handshake. The amount of and please have a firm handshake. So like I've said, close this video and please go back to doing the work that's really important to you. Just get off Facebook, get off YouTube, and go back to doing something that will make your day better tomorrow, because nobody else is going to do it for you.